let's just look at a snapshot of the market right now. We're seeing that the price of the larger jets, you know, the G550s, the Global 6000s, and that has actually come down by about 11%. And that's due to the fact that people that have the larger jets are not flying long distance, because a lot of places you go to these days, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. So, you know, people are not bothering to travel. Simple. People use private jets to save time. If when you get to your destination you have to spend 2 weeks quarantined in a hotel before you can go out and do your business deal, you're just not going to travel. It's as simple as that. But we're seeing a lot of movement in the United States, because obviously in the United States it's a different story. You know, it's a big country. You can fly from New York to Honolulu, and in that case you're going to need a long-range airplane. So 11% down on the numbers there for the larger jets, but we are seeing some of them are moving, so some are being sold, and the ones that are being sold, it's the high quality spec airplanes that are. So obviously those people that are buying those aircraft are, you know, are getting professional advice and finding the good deals to do. While on the lower end, the prices are probably down by about 1 or 2%. In some cases they're even gone up in price, like the Pilatus PC-12 is doing very well. Prices of those aircraft has gone up. It's a single engine turboprop. You can check on the link above to find out all about the PC-12. Very interesting airplane if you're flying 200, 300, 400 miles. It's a good airplane to look into. But you know, on the lower front, the smaller jets, we're seeing people buy all sorts of stuff, in particular the low quality aircraft. It's almost as if these are like first time buyers, don't really know anything about aeroplanes. They go on the internet and they type in buy a Learjet, buy a Hawker, buy a Cessna Citation, and they're saying, oh, this jet's only $400,000, let's buy it. And then a week later they discover it's got a maintenance schedule which is going to take 3 months, so now they're without an airplane for 3 months, and it's going to cost them $800,000 or $900,000. So there goes your deal out the window. So if you are going to buy an aircraft, I do recommend you seek professional advice. Unless you're an aviation person yourself and you know what you're talking about and you know what you're looking at when you're looking at a spec sheet, or you're going to look at an aeroplane, you know what to look for. You know, pre-buy inspections, boroscopic checks on engines, you know, all the, you know, going through the maintenance records. All these things are really, really important. Also going through the legal records of the airplanes, because I have heard horror stories of people buy an airplane and 5 months later someone knocked on the door and said, hey, what are you doing flying around with my airplane? What do you mean your airplane? Yes, here's the paperwork. And they suddenly discover that, you know, they bought the airplane from somebody that wasn't actually the owner. So, you know, getting the right legal advice is also very, very important. You know, aircraft purchase is a very detailed and careful purchase, and it needs to be done in the right way and in a professional way. So let's move into leasing. Now, leasing is an option that more and more people are looking at right now, and I'm going to give you an example here of something we're doing over at Kaizen Aerospace, where we're offering Bombardier Global Expresses and also Gulfstreams on 24-month leases. And I'm just going to hone in on one example for you, that of the Global 6000. Now, the Global 6000 today on the pre-owned market, you can buy them for anywhere between $22 to like $35 million. So if we take a $25 million price point, that's how much it would cost you to buy one of these airplanes. So what I'm suggesting here, instead of spending $25 million, which you may not have, or you may want to use that cash to grow your business right now, not putting in an aircraft, the option that we have here for you is that to be able to lease the airplane. So how would the lease work? It's, let's say, a 24-month lease, down payment of $2 million, and $360,000 a month for the aircraft, and to have a crew to sit with the aircraft available 24/7. Of course, we can customize the airplane for you, put your logo on it, put cushions inside the airplane with your name on it. All that good stuff can be done. And then on top of that, every hour you fly, it's going to be about $9,500 to $10,000 an hour. So let's call it $10,000 an hour. So if you fly 400 hours a year, the lease is going to cost you just over $8 million a year. So the $8 million a year is something that you don't have to pay all up front. Okay, you're paying this on a monthly basis, so you may be spending $1 million a month or just under $1 million a month. And as you move and use this airplane to do deals, you'll be making more money, and that's the way to look at it. You use this airplane to do deals. So what deals can you do with the airplane? And the advantage is, you know, right now a lot of the airlines have scrapped routes that they were doing before. Some airlines have gone bust, and so consequently the airline that you were using to fly from A to B to C to D from where your company is headquartered is no longer there. So using a private aircraft can spring your team into action very quickly, keep them safe as well from any viruses or any passengers that you don't know who they are, kind of thing. So it keeps your team safe. and this is why a lot of people are looking into private. But above all, you can get out A to B very quickly. Also, with private jets, you have access to a lot more airports. You control the time, you control the airplane. This is the advantage of having the lease over maybe a charter. And the lease over ownership is the fact that you don't have to outlay, the 25 million for the aircraft. You're paying on a monthly basis. And so there's great advantage there. From an operational standpoint, Kaizen Aerospace, we do everything for you, from sourcing the aircraft if we don't already have one in inventory, putting the whole deal together, and managing the aircraft on a daily basis for you. And that's another advantage you get, as well as being able to customize the aircraft. So that's really it on how the lease works. Of course, these are just an example, these numbers. We have to get specific on what your needs are and see if we can craft something for you. And that's really it from me on this episode.